What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about 4 ways that Street Fighter 6 helps beginners. Now, I say this actually as a beginner, so I tried to do some research online, tried to see, okay, what makes this game beginner-friendly, and wanted to put it all together for a video for you guys as well as myself. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the characters. Now, you can find a lot of rankings and whatnot on YouTube, and I honestly kind of recommend it. I did it myself where I was looking at, okay, which characters are more offensive characters, defensive characters, what are the beginner characters? Well, it is good to know that going into this game, if you've never played a Street Fighter game before, there are characters that are more beginner friendly than others. Some of them, and some lists tend to vary, so I try to pick ones that appeared on multiple lists. Ryu is kind of the overall consensus where he is the guy, not just like the face of Street Fighter, but he also is probably the easiest to kind of get into. He can be mained, but also you can just use his moves to kind of figure out if you like certain things and try to find other people that are like him. And then I also saw characters like Ken. I mean, Ken and Ryu share a lot of the same kind of fighting strategy, so I do think that makes sense. And then the newcomer, Luke. Luke was another character kind of mentioned, whether it be top 5 lists or whatever. So just know going into it, some characters like Chun-Li, I didn't see her on one list, so I feel like she's a little bit more advanced. So there are characters that are going to take some work to understand them. There are also some characters that you're going to be able to get probably faster than others. But this directly leads to number 2, and that is the game itself, the tutorial system. So you can see this in the beta, you could see this in the demo, you can see this in all the reviews being talked about in this game. This game maybe is the greatest fighting game that just tells you how to play. So there's an overall tutorial, but there's also tutorials to teach you how to play as each individual character, and you can sit there forever to figure it out in a good way. It may not actually take you literally forever, but the game, honestly, I think immediately kind of shows you, okay, we are willing to help you. We're willing to talk you through things, whether it be through words or whether we're going to show you kind of like prompts on the screen. I think they do everything in their power to teach you how to play as characters. Then it's just up to us, the beginners, to actually sit there and say, okay, we're going to figure it out. Now, this leads directly into number 3, which are the control systems. So this is a big talked about thing. Again, you may have seen this in the reviews. This is actually what sold me when I was playing the demo and beta of 6, the modern controls. But there is one more that we are going to talk about. So 3 different control types in all. Obviously, you got the classic, and those are for probably the people that have played these games before. You have modern, which I think still requires some skill. I kind of understood it, right? Because it's just limiting down the buttons that you're actually pressing, but there's still a little bit there. And then dynamic, which is a third. The dynamic one, I actually have never touched it. I've never turned it on the game, but obviously from what has been said and what has been shown, this is the easiest way. If you literally just want to play this game and just button smash your way through, or just hold one button, press the others, the game will basically do things for you. Now, of course, if you didn't know this, dynamic is limited. You can only do that on offline mode. So you're not going to be able to go in to an online mode and use dynamic mode. You can do that for modern mode. And I think that makes sense. I think that's fair, honestly, to everybody. But again, for me, as somebody who's played fighting games but has never been good at them, I kind of got the hook in just a few hours. I was doing relatively well with modern controls. I feel like that is kind of the sweet spot. But if you're absolutely god-awful, you could always try dynamic, and I think you'd be fine. And then the 4th thing is World Tour. So from watching and listening to all these people talking about it, whether, again, it was leading in, it was previews, or whether it's people that actually got the game now, World Tour really satisfies quite a few different things. It doesn't take itself seriously, right? It's kind of nuts. Every character is kind of like your teacher, so they're all kind of teaching you things, trying to tell you, okay, go to another part of the world to meet somebody else. It's goofy. It's overall, and you can even see in the reviews, some people lean into the goofiness, that they like it. Some people just think World Tour is bad. But one thing that I've noticed that I didn't really know about going in is that World Tour also kind of gives you a different look at each fighter's moveset. So remember, World Tour, you create your own character, right? It's almost like an RPG. You create your own character, you go around, you level up, but when you level up, you get to put into skill trees, so you get to upgrade your moves. Now, because the roster characters are your teachers, you learn their move sets. So what your character ends up doing is kind of developing all of the skills and all of the moves from the different fighters. So I'm not saying this is going to make you a god at playing as each individual character. I think like the tutorial stuff is probably better for that, right? But this will give you, I think, a better look at, okay, well, maybe I like this move from this character, or I understand now how to do it, but I'll take this other move from another character. I think, again, it's a different look at how each character kind of operates, and you're fusing them all into your own character. Also, a thing that's been shown off kind of is the mini games, right? So there's some mini games that focus on precision, some enemies that like have to be, they're in the air and you have to take them out with like an aerial attack, or you have to just aim up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I'll be doing a review and more videos on this game once I get my hands on it. I hope to see you all on the next one.